thinking this morning about imaginary arguments and what they say about us as people. Because I have a lot of them. And I read a thing online this morning that said the most imaginary arguments you have are in the shower, which I disagree with. I never have. I actually think about, I think productively in the shower. I've actually heard other people do too, but this article seems to imply that imaginary arguments take place most in the shower. For me, they take place most when I'm brushing my hair, doing my hair, washing the dishes, occasionally when I'm crocheting, which I have to actively pull myself out of because I love crochet and the last thing I want to do is attach negativity to that. So yeah, that, I suppose anything that is sort of monotonous to some extent is going to, activate certain parts of your brain to, go crazy, do what they want. Yeah, so obviously I end up winning a lot of the imaginary arguments that I have in my head with, and sometimes they're with people that don't exist. Sometimes it's just a random auto-generated faceless human who's, done something reminiscent of my own, deep-seated inferiority complex, whatever. But sometimes they're with people that I know, and the majority of these arguments happen with colleagues at work, which is funny because, that's the other time I have imaginary arguments with people that I work with while I'm walking to work. And I will really work myself up right before I step through the door, and I'll be in this terrible mood, and it'll be at this point where I feel like what I've been thinking is just going to come to pass. Like it's just going to happen. And then I'll get in and everybody's really nice to me, and it's like I'm shocked out of my rage, my self-induced fury, which is always quite funny to me. I guess, I try to stop because the more negative I feel, the more imaginary arguments I have, the angrier I become, and the more negatively that impacts my life just as a whole. I'll start to feel more anxious, I'll start to sort of withdraw from people more than usual. I suppose it's not really saying much. Yeah, it's not really a scary side note, but it's a side note, imaginary arguments. So my student who claimed not to know anything about star signs and didn't know what a star is, they do know what their star sign is, they just don't really care about it. It's not really something that enters into their life. They also claim not to be superstitious in any way. This is all based off this morning's lesson, which was actually really fun. I really like this person. They're fun. I like to try and bring people out of their shells, especially when they're very guarded, very... I really respect that in a person. I like guarded... When people are guarded, it shows, I don't know, I like that level of self-protection, I suppose. Because often I feel like I don't protect myself to those levels. I want to, but I feel like I'm a bit more open than I want to be. But I can appreciate when people are a little bit more standoffish. I quite like that. But I also like to try and break through that standoffishness and find out what's going on. So this person's a fair bit like that. And so they claim not to be superstitious, they claim not to believe in ghosts and all that stuff. Obviously not that I do, but I love these conversations, they're really great. So claiming not to be superstitious, claiming not to believe in ghosts, But by the end of the lesson, we were talking about her experiences with auras, her grandmother's experiences with spirits and energy, her friends' experiences with if you place a glass of water in your house and like leave it sitting somewhere for a certain amount of time, it will start to grow mold, and that will mean there's spirits in your house. Which I didn't want to like say anything because like I was very excited for the conversation to be like amping up and just getting better. And I didn't want to be like, yeah, that also means that like, you know, it's probably like rising damp, and that's not a spirit thing, that's a fungus thing, it's spores. But anyway, I'm sort of tempted to try it in my house, you know, because I do feel a lot of energy. I don't know whether it's the house or just my own negativity, or there's like genuinely something going on, like with mold and stuff. So I might try the water trick, see if there's mold that grows. I won't believe that there's a spirit here. I will believe that there's a rising damp issue or some issue to that effect. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Anyway, but yeah, that was just a fun thing, and we sort of, I didn't want the lesson to end. Usually I just can't wait for the lesson to end, and then I can go home. Sometimes go back, sometimes stay at home, whatever. But today I didn't want to stop talking. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed bringing especially that side of people out. The people who claim they don't believe in supernatural things and, you know, metaphysical things and pseudosciences and whatnot. But these are all conversations I love to have. And it's good to get it out of people who don't want to have those conversations initially, and then find out that they really do, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh, and I taught her the trick that I watched, I can't remember which YouTuber I saw this on, where you hold your arm against a white wall, obviously not with stuff on it, but if you hold your arm against a white wall and you stare at your arm, or you stand just above your arm, and you let your eyes go out of focus, like you sort of get into the middle distance sort of vision-y thing. You let your eyes go out of focus, you're staring above your arm, and eventually you'll start to see like an outline, kind of shimmery outline, and it will be a certain colour, and that's apparently meant to be your aura. Which, I don't know, I'm not going to not believe that, because I remember when I was younger and my sister and I had our aura photos taken. Mine was like all blues and yellows and greens, and my sister's a rainbow. So jealous, but whatever. So my sister's a rainbow. But when I did the aura against the wall thing, I definitely saw like the blue outline. So that was interesting. The girl that I was with today said she has an orange outline. Not sure what that means, but it probably means she's just like a really vibrant person. Yeah, so that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that. I'm enjoying a lift in mood lately. Sort of steering quite clear of scary negative things on the internet has been really good. Getting back into crochet, you know, stuff like that. Also probably just actively seeking happier things. It's probably about time. I still need to go to the beach and crochet a seashell at the beach. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pull that off, but it will be somehow. My recording equipment, sorry phone, just isn't that great. It's not that great. Looking forward to getting some new stuff. Also, my husband and I filmed sort of, I think it was Saturday night, we went out. And we filmed a little bit, and the footage wasn't great, but I may at some point upload bits and pieces from that, you know, first go. We went to a lovely bar in the middle of the city that we love to go to, and at some point I'd like to do some, you know, film some expeditions to these really lovely bars and possibly a restaurant or two, because there's some really awesome food in the city. And that's something I love to do, is going out for dinner. It's excellent. So I'd love to take you guys, or you know, whoever cares to watch that sort of thing, to some of our favourite places, because they're really good. Alright, so I think this has gone on for long enough. I don't know, I hope whatever or something that I've said has resonated with someone. I don't know. I have a blister on my toe. Alright, I'm going to stop filming. Yeah, so imaginary arguments and bringing people out of their shells. Fun things all around. See you later.